Hi, I'm really glad you could join me for this pick a card reading. I woke up this morning and I just had a complete desire to do this reading. Will we get back together? To ask that question for those of you that are heartbroken, or those of you that don't know quite how you feel about things, but you're a bit torn with somebody, you're in a situation with somebody, or you don't know where anything is with somebody, you know, you may be in complete separation. I just felt the need to do it. So here we are, pick a card. We've got pile number 1, pile number 2 and pile number 3. Now I also felt the need to add 3 kind of personal little items from my house to kind of help you choose or give you a nudge. So number 1 has got this rose quartz, which is something I've carried around in my pocket for quite a long time. I carry it when I need a bit of reassurance. It's good for luck in love. It kind of warms to the heat of your body. So that goes with number 1. Number 2 is, yes, it's a lollipop. This is a lollipop that somebody recently sent me when I bought some tarot cards from them. And it really touched me, you know, the kindness of strangers in a lollipop. So number 2 has a lollipop and number 3 has a dice. Now this is a red dice. It's from downstairs in my house. It was my son's when he was little. His favourite colour is red. And also there's something about the roll of the dice about it that just attracted me to it. So you've got pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. Go with whatever your gut says, go with whatever your hunch is, and then there will be a timestamp in the description box. Scoot to that and we will get to the bottom of it. Will we get back together? I'll see you on the other side. Namaste. Hi there, pile number 1. Okay, you chose rose quartz and pile number 1. Let's have a look. Now I don't have a look at these. When I'm doing the, when I'm making up the piles, I do it all by channeling. So this is a surprise to me as it is to you. Okay. Wow, okay. Oh my God. Oh my God, number 1. This is very powerful. Very powerful. Woof, woof, woof. Right, okay. There will be an extended reading for this number 1 and the link will be in the description box. This is powerful stuff. Okay, straight off the bat, we have a twin flame connection going on. I've got the 4 of Wands, 1111. Possibly dealing with a fire sign. You're dealing with, I feel like, the masculine. We also have, along with the 4 of Wands, the Sun. Some of you could be dealing literally with a Leo or have Leo in your chart. Either way, this is a hot connection. It was a hot connection. It was a connection born of fire. It was a connection born of 1111. It was, and I say was because I'm really getting a story here about something separating, something drifting, something kind of, you know, when I've got a real fire downstairs. Sometimes when you want a real fire, you get really enthusiastic and you put something on it that you know is going to burn quite quickly. But what I noticed is, you know, you get this amazing quality of flame for a short time and then it dies down. Something about the connection between you and this person was very instant. It was very fiery. It was very hot. It could have been very, very good chemistry. But I don't think that either of you were expecting the levels that you reached so quickly. Now this is regardless of whether or not you've taken it to the next level with this person or not. It's kind of all unconscious with this 1111 card. There's a lot going on in the 5D. Some of you, this may have made you feel kind of physically uncomfortable at times. When you were in the company of this person, it might have made you feel really nervous. Or just really fired up, really stirred up. When their energy and your energy is together in the same room, it changes the energy of everything else. That's alchemy. Twin flame, alchemy. It's about a portal. It's about portals for you guys. Okay. The Magician. The Magician is a masculine influence. He's got the 4 elements of the tarot on the table. He's got the pentacle, the cup. He's got the wand. He's got the sword. So he's got the fire. He's got the air. He's got the water. He's got the earth. But he knows how to put it all together. And there is something about you two being together that almost takes you, it definitely takes you both beyond your comfort zone of where you've been before in relationships, okay? Now, the person that you're dealing with has been very much provoked by your connection. It's made them, I think it's startled them. They feel a bit like a kind of hot rabbit in the headlights, if that makes sense. And rabbit might even be like your spirit animal or something to do with it, just for 1 or 2 of you. It's giving me an itchy nose though. I'm just conscious here where I've got the 4 of Wands and I've got the Magician, and it's about as above, so below. It's like holding something up and drawing it down. You two, I feel, are in separation. I've got the 6 of Cups. Now this is Psyche, and Psyche is longing for Eros. Eros and Psyche again had this amazing connection, but Eros had this weird kind of curse from the gods that Psyche wasn't allowed to be able to see what he really looked like. I think one night she couldn't resist it because he was so well, I think she knew he was really hot, and she had a look at what she saw him, I think when he was sleeping or something. And he deserted her. He ran off because she'd broken the rules, as it were, of the agreement with the gods. So Psyche in the 6 of Cups is waiting for him to return. You have been waiting for this person to return with the knowledge, I think, that there is all this 5D feeling that you have. And I think there are times when you might question it. You might be called to wonder, you know, is it mad what I'm dreaming about? I feel like you've dreamt about this person. I feel like you've felt them. I feel like you can feel their presence. I feel like you can feel when they're thinking about you and when they're distant. There has been a kind of, I don't know if this is a person, you know, where you have some kind of soul contract with them. It feels like there's history. And it feels like that history goes beyond the 3D. So however that particular piece of information plays out for you, yeah. The question of whether you will get back together with this person. I don't normally recommend, you know, I think there needs to be a balance between the 3D and the 5D. You don't want to spend all your time in the 5D because, well, I don't, you know, obviously do what you want, but I feel like if you spend too much time in the 5D, it's like being a balloon, you know, you're sort of up here somewhere and we've got to live in the 3D. But the question of will we get back together, I do feel with this person for you does lie in the 5D. Now, however you access that, so tarot is one way, there's any manner of kind of transcendental practices that, you know, I'm not saying go looking for them, but I think you already have some. Telepathy, dreaming, you know, meditation, heart chakra meditation. I can see that this is a relationship that has kind of, I want to say it's gone in cycles, but I feel like I want to say it's gone in waves. It's going in waves. Look at that infinity symbol above the magician. In a way, and you probably feel this, this relationship can never be done. It feels that certainly like it isn't done at the moment. But I would be guided very much by the portals of your 5D experience. So, have a look at the astrology of what's going on. Have a look at the moon cycles. Have a look at, because I've got here the sun, so have a look at the astrology of the sun cycles. Have a look at the moon cycles. Be your own magician about this. Trust that the other person, even if they don't know it, has their own magicianship going on. I know. And also things like Mercury retrograde, I think will be a portal for connection between you and this person. I've got the Romance Angel Oracle card of separation. Currently, physically, I feel like you're in separation from this person. I also have next to the Six of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is the long game. It's not done with this person. I feel like it's a 5D long game. It's got twin flame energy. I feel like there is more of the journey to play out. Can you see in the Four of Wands, we've got this ship in the background. That's the Eight of Wands ship. I feel like there are many more words to be said. You might find as well that bodily practices, so we've got flexible here, things like yoga or Reiki or any kind of bringing the body, soul and mind and heart together will help to join the 5D and the 3D worlds together for you and this person and your connection, because that's what it is with this person. Your connection bounces between 3D and 5D, and there needs to be some kind of bridge between the two. At the moment, there isn't a bridge and you're in separation. Then we get the Grace card of love. I mean, this is just gorgeous. There is such a strong connection between you and this person. You know, it's... that reminds me of the Four of Wands as well. There is a place for you to go. There is a destination for this relationship. And I think both of you can feel that. And yet at the same time, I get the separation card. And both of you are feeling that too. Above separation, healing with the angels card, I get forgiveness. Now for me, when I get forgiveness, I think about I think it's the Hawaiian Ho'oponopono prayer, which you can find many versions of on YouTube. There is something about forgiveness, forgiving yourself, and I'm not saying you've done anything wrong, it's not even about that at all. It's some kind of divine forgiveness. And if you practice that Ho'oponopono prayer, I feel like it may make a bridge between the 3D and the 5D that is just much needed. It's a very interesting connection. You are a very spiritual person. But I think also what might have happened with this person is the strength of the connection might have frightened you. And if you are particularly good at manifesting, you may have manifested some separation from your fears of your previous experiences with rejection and abandonment. Embrace your skills in the 5D, become your own magician. And even if this other person doesn't have awareness of how they become their own magician, you can link up with them in that magician to magician energy. And the 6 of Cups as well, there is a journey for you too, and there is a journey of separation and returning. And it probably may have happened already that you've separated and returned and separated and returned. If you can build a bridge between the 5D and the 3D, I think that could be something that is more sustainable for this person and you, to keep your connection more solid. Wow. Okay, I'm going to go do your extended reading. The link will be in the description box. I'm going to look at the 6 of Cups. I'm going to look also at the energy of where the other person is at, because although the magician is turning up here, I'd just like to get some more information about where the other person is at, okay? So yeah, that link will be in the description box. Otherwise, do subscribe to the channel and do hit the wiggly bell. There are other pick a card readings up on the channel. There are dailies, there is your readings for each month and your astrological sign. And do like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment, okay? And I'll see you soon. Namaste. Number 2, you chose the lollipop. I love this. Okay, a lollipop. It's great. Number 2. So, number 2, as with any of the other ones, I haven't looked at the cards yet. This is the first time that I'm seeing them. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. Hang on in there, number 2. Right, I want to put that somewhere. God. You got big cards. Wow. Okay. Woohoo! Right. Number 2, this is a strong story. I think that's the best way I can put it. You have been dealing with somebody where it was very fraught, I think, for quite a while. It's interesting, okay? Because look, we get the World card, and the World is an entire cycle of a relationship. I feel like you've done an entire cycle. It's got the 4 fixed signs. We've got Leo, we've got Taurus, we've got Aquarius, and we've got Scorpio, okay? So you could be dealing or be one of those signs. Now the World is the last card of the major arcana. It's the Fool, having experienced an entire cycle of something, reaches the end of his journey in the world. it feels strong. I don't know how I can put it any other way. It feels like there has been a separation with this person. Next to the World, the Death card. Scorpio again. So we got Scorpio energy in that World card. We've got Scorpio energy in the Death card. Do you know what I think this might relate to? Back in October the 31st of 2019, I think Halloween, Mercury went retrograde in Scorpio. And we had the Sun in Scorpio, and then at some point we had the Moon in Scorpio, and I think we had a couple of other planets in Scorpio. And it was an enormously difficult time. It was Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, and when Mercury goes retrograde, and I felt this at the time in my daily readings, and by the way, do subscribe to the channel, hit the button wherever it is and the wiggly bell to get those daily readings and the random love readings and all that. When I was doing the daily readings around that time, we had such a lot of Death card and Tower and all that sort of stuff, and it felt to me like we were going into the emotional drainage system. I kept talking about drains. It was great for my daily viewers. I was like, yep, we're in the drains. Someone's like digging out the sewer. That's what's gone on here. Now you're either dealing with a Scorpio, or you've got Scorpio in your chart, or it was at that time of Scorpio, okay? Mercury retrogrades, of which we are coming up to one, 17th of February, very soon. Mercury retrogrades are a big deal for you with this relationship and the question of whether you will get back together or not. Something may have happened around that time in 2019. It feels like it. It feels like it because, what's the other card I get? The Tower. Now, many readers read this as a Scorpio card as well. Partly because, I mean, here we've got Neptune, the sea god. Partly because, you know, the Scorpios keep it real about the truth. They are not fussy about the difficult subjects in life. You know, it's what I like about my Scorpio friends, is that you can talk to them about death and you can talk to them about difficult humanity, and they get it, okay? Scorpios aren't afraid to go there. So when you get the Tower, there was something in the relationship you had with this person that was built on something that was not sustainable, okay? The Tower is always built on this kind of, you know, it's like that biblical story of the castle that was, you know, built on sand or something like that. Lightning comes, there's a storm effect, okay? Like the Death card, transformation. Lightning comes and it destroys this tower. It takes the tower down. Neptune is in charge of the sea, okay? You've got Zeus, who's in charge, the brothers. Zeus is in charge of the earth. I hope I'm getting the names right here, because sometimes I mix up the Roman and the Greek, but who cares? Neptune is in charge of the sea, and Hades is in charge of the death, you know, the underworld. It's a big deal. There was, for some of you, a big situation, fallout, tower coming down. You found something out about this person, that they were in some way deceiving you. Deception. Wearing a false mask. And I would wager it made you pretty angry. You don't get the Tower and the Death card and the World card unless stuff went down, you know, stuff went down. I can see that. So it may have been some time ago that something happened, but it was quite seismic. And some of you have been, I think, very emotional in this and very knocked down by it. You know, when the Tower comes down, sometimes it's a real destruction of everything. I'm not saying everything. I think you did believe in this person, actually. I think you did trust this person. But, you know, when you have the Tower, there are falsehoods. You and this person, you know, you may have had a suspicion that they were not telling you everything, and you may have just, you know, will just sweep that under the carpet. It's what we all do until the Tower, the lightning hits the Tower and the whole thing is exposed. Something became exposed. Now, for some of you, that may have been that there was someone else, that there was a third party with the deception card, that they were not quite over somebody. For some of you, they may have been quite blunt with you. For others of you, they may have cut this relationship off very abruptly with the Tower and the Death card. I mean, that's quite abrupt. It's not, let's go on a break and see how it goes. It's you might have done that. Just for one or two of you, you cut them out, but it wasn't what you wanted to do. I think you had to do it at the time. Now, I also get a character card. We get the King of Swords. Now, the King of Swords, if you look at the blue and the frostiness and the peaks and the way he sits in his chair and the seriousness and the fact he's got a great big sword, the King of Swords is somebody who has boxed off their emotions. This is who you're dealing with here. You're dealing with somebody who's highly logical, might be a mathematician or a computer scientist or somebody who very much works in the realm of logic, not in the realm of feeling, lives in the world of logic. They may have cut you off with this King of Swords card, because when the King of Swords, he just, it's like the Queen of Swords, like, you know, and the thing with the King of Swords, and of course it can represent the air signs of Gemini, Libra, and for me, particularly Aquarius. So anyone that has Aquarius, or if you have, and particularly if you've got Venus in Aquarius, this is relevant. What he can do is he can cut his feelings off. And that for you is devastating, because you can't. You couldn't and they could. You couldn't and they could, and they did. So you are dealing here with someone where there may be no communication between you at all. Or if you see them, they're strangely cold towards you. Okay, now, then we get the Ace of Cups. And we weren't expecting that, were we? I know, we weren't expecting that. Here's Venus with this enormous cup that's bigger than she is, goddess of love. How very lovely that is, and very healing. One thing I will say, and I'm not telling you what to do, because I don't tell people what to do. Just from the cards I'm reading here, it's my thought that if they cut you off, this relationship can't have a half measure. To get back together with this person successfully, which is what everybody wants, it can't be a half measure. It can't be let's hang out and be friends. You can't be, I don't think you can be friends with this person. It's too powerful. And also, the Ace of Cups is a complete and utter new beginning. This is either meeting someone else, which I don't know how you feel about that, but that could happen. Or it's this person wanting to start again from scratch almost. That's the only way you could approach getting back together with this person. If they were trying to slide into your DMs, as the kids would say, or like some of your stuff on social media, or, you know, other kinds of so-so attempts, I'm not sure I would, and I'm not sure from these cards that you either particularly would want to give that much thought, or house room, as my mum says. What is important here, which is very difficult, you get the relationship card of holding on. I know you want to hear from this person. You've got someone sitting inside an envelope next to a telephone clutching a photograph, okay? It's a bit 80s, but you get the drift. Okay, I get that. I don't think you can be the one to initiate. And I'm not telling you what to do, but it just feels like you probably don't want to initiate communication because they're the one that cut it off, and I think you're right. Holding on is one thing, and it's a weakness, which we all have. Holding out is another. Don't hold on, but do hold out. Hold out for that. Now, I think what you need to do with this, and this is not easy, is raise your own emotional standards, regardless of this person and the attraction, of course, and the love. Raise your own emotional standards where only a great big MF cup like this will do, because that is a big cup. Now, whether it comes from them or whether it comes from somebody new, see if you can get into the state of mind where you're not fussy about that, if it makes sense. In the extended reading, there's going to be an extended reading for this, and the link will be in the description box. I'm going to look at that. I'm going to look at your options. I'm going to look also at the Tower and the King of Swords. But you need to be in a position where you're holding out for the best, not holding on, okay? And holding on involves waiting. It probably involves, and this is only, and I think this is the case, if they cut you off, not trying to run into them, not trying to get an excuse to see them, even though that's what we all feel like doing. If you can hold out for the best, they either need to become inspired to give you the absolute best and turn over a new leaf, because I feel like they didn't, or somebody else will, because you are giving out that energy, okay? Wow, number 2. I'm going to go and do your extended reading, okay? We're also going to look at that Ace of Cups. The link's in the description box. So do like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Namaste. So number 3, welcome to your pick a card reading. Okay, you chose the dice. And number 3, I haven't seen these cards yet. Ooh. Wow, that's nice. Yay! Ooh, okay. There will be an extended reading number 3, and the link will be in the description box. Ooh, I remember seeing a bit of this actually when I put it together. That one popped out. Okay, I'm going to switch my heater on. So, number 3. Start off with the 9 of Swords, okay? You might be dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. You have certainly had a lot of sleepless nights about this person. You may have had some jealousy. When you get the 9 of Swords, you can see here we've got the snaky-haired ladies in the background. It's a bit like the Dementors from Harry Potter. Anything that you're worried about, it's like the 4 o'clock in the morning card. It comes in and you think, well, I wonder if there was someone else. I wonder what they're doing now. I wonder if they still care about me. I wonder, I wonder, I wonder. So the first thing, it's giving me an itchy nose, to say is that you can be your own worst enemy by getting up in your own head about this. And that's so easy for me to say, because where else do we go but up in our own head about things? You may have had some insomnia, literally. You've certainly had some... don't be looking at their social media. Itchy nose. You know who you are, because if I get an itchy nose, you're doing it. Don't be looking at their social media. It's absolutely, you know, toxic doing that. It's addictive. It tells a false story. it makes it look like something that it isn't. You know, whatever you need to do to stop looking at the social media, do it. You know, whether you have to, I'm saying cease and desist, whether you have to deactivate your own account for a month, put yourself first, because nothing, I bet you if you think about it, you haven't found out anything properly and nothing good has come of it. You get that feeling when you're spying on someone's social media, you get that rush, that adrenaline, that need. It fuels something inside us that's quite addictive. I think maybe it gives us like serotonin hit, like gambling. We all do it, okay? No one's an angel on this one. I'm just saying to look after yourself, to put yourself first, knock that on the head. And also I need to say that what you're seeing isn't right anyway. Even if you're seeing them on social media with someone else, it's not as rosy as it looks. Never is it? Never is. Okay. For some of you, yes, your person is involved with someone else, but that's only if you know it. This is not a sneaky thing. This is like, you would know it if this was the case. And that might have happened pretty quickly. I don't think it's much to worry about. And I know I shouldn't be saying that, you know, it's quite flippant, but that's what I'm saying about the whole Facebook business. Don't be taken in by the photo album, you know, I just wouldn't, because it doesn't feel half as significant as it looks if that is the case. Some of you are dealing with a fire sign person. I've got the Ace of Wands. I like that. If you have a reading about are we going to get back together again, it's quite nice to see an ace drop in. It's nice to see an Ace of Wands because it's a new beginning, and it's also a card of kind of creativity and sexuality and fire, and it's a strong start, okay? I quite like the look of it for you, but I feel like you have some struggle first. The biggest struggle is in your own head. So with the Nine of Swords, it is the biggest struggle because it feels, especially if you're dealing with a fire sign, and some of you are, or you are fire in your chart, it feels like you've really got to hit the ground running with this. And positivity and confidence is going to be your secret weapon. When you're in that energy where you're all, you know, which we can all go to, that's our shadow side, isn't it? When you're in that energy, you are in your weaker self and you are paranoid, in need of reassurance. You'll be tempted to spy, you'll be tempted to reach out, you'll be tempted to, you know, reach for scraps. All that is a scarcity. You don't want that scarcity. Somehow you've got to get yourself into an abundant kind of state with this person, because, and I keep getting this, if they're with someone else, they're not very happy with that person, okay? If they moved on with someone else quickly, I just don't believe the hype. You get the Chariot. So this may go back to January the 10th time, 2020, when we had a full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer. But it could also go back in 2019. We had eclipses in Cancer. I'm trying to remember when they were. We think we had one in July 2019. We had one in July 2018 as well. And we had one... When else did we have one? Can't remember. Google it. Google eclipses in Cancer 2019. And then we had like a final big style lunar eclipse in Cancer 2020, January the 10th. And that was quite, there were a lot of planets in Capricorn. It was quite potent emotionally, and still there is resonance of that. And this Charioteer, which is the Cancerian card, is trying to drive a chariot with two horses wanting to go in different directions. One is a dark horse, one is a light horse, one is the shadow, one is the light. You are at the moment, I think, torn between positivity and dread. Positivity needs to win if you want to get back together with this person. And I know that's really annoying sometimes to hear when you feel anything other than positive, and you know, you're watching someone on Facebook, I keep getting that, and you sat in your sort of stretchy trousers and you know, you haven't put any makeup on or you haven't had a shave or whatever for 3 days. You know, when you're in house arrest, you're just like, I get it, okay? But at some point, you're going to have to shake a leg, okay? At some point, you've got to take charge of this. At some point, you've got to become responsible for your own success. Do take a minute, by the way, to subscribe to the channel. I don't know where the button is, but it's either there or there. Hit the wiggly bell. Okay. You've got to subscribe to success. Oh, I like that. That was good. You've got to become the best version of yourself, the most confident person, okay, that you can be. We get the Fool. Major new beginning energy. Now, when you get the Fool and you get the Ace of Wands, it's looking pretty damn good. It's like you've got rocket fuel and you're beginning again, okay? You really need to believe in the possibility, though, before anybody else will. Because when you're in that Nine of Swords energy, and for a lot of you, it is about them and someone else. I'm getting this whole jealousy, you know, we're all like that. Of course we are. It's like, oh my God. If you need to, have a look at, if you're into law of attraction, there is a channel called Manifest a Specific Person, a woman called Jasmine. She's got a couple, and this is only if you've got a third party thing going on where it's like, she's got a couple of third party meditations and a couple of videos on how to deal with that third party stuff and be a confident person. Check those out, have a look at those. I am not connected to her, but I know that if you want info on third party stuff, her stuff is good, because you need to clean up this vibration. It's not your fault. I mean, God, we all go there. Where else do you go? And you've been pushed there to some extent, but your chances of success here are pretty good from where I'm sitting. My hunch is pretty good. I love that Fool card. It trumps, it's major arcana, it's 0. It's like back to the beginning. It's a good vibe. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel, especially if you're dealing with a fire sign, I feel like this person is interested in you still. I feel like they want another chance. I do, okay? I feel like that. I don't feel like it's easy, and I do feel like there are obstacles in the way. And I do feel like there is some action in between that I don't quite understand. They might be physically at a distance from you as well. But you've got to take a leap here. The Fool is literally, he takes a leap of faith. You know, he's going off the edge of a cliff. I'm not suggesting that you do that, but I'm just saying he has the freshness of a teenager. He's not allowing the past to get involved. It's like the past was the world and all backwards to the beginning. I'm 0. There's nothing colouring my future. I'm not bringing anything into it. I'm not dragging anything into it. Fresh, new, optimistic, almost arrogant, diva-like. Yeah, I'll be fine. It's all about me. Definitely do anything that makes you feel good. Get a haircut, you know, Mercury's coming up retrograde, so just be careful. But buy brightly coloured clothes. Have a wash, whatever it is that you need to do to be feeling, you know, good. New hat, pair of earrings, pair of shoes, some, you know, whatever. Because you shouldn't count yourself out, okay? In the extended reading, I'm going to look at that Fool and the Ace of Wands. And also we get the Reconciliation card. I know, you're the only one who got it. Reconciliation. Okay, someone from your past is returning to your life. Rather like that. And we also get, as your oracle card, we get poised. It's being poised for success. But I'll bet you feel anything but. I bet you feel a lot more like that. Now, I cannot reiterate this enough. Get off looking at the social media. Don't even be looking at photos of them on your own phone. Don't be rereading those texts. You know who you are. This is about the 0, okay? 0. 0 is fresh start. Don't drag any of that stuff into it. Don't be looking at who they're with now. Don't be doing any of that stuff. Have the confidence to be the prime mover, to be the most important person in your world, okay, in order to become it in their world. Now, I feel like 7 of Pentacles, so you could be dealing with an earth sign. I feel like there is a future that could be built with this person. It is possible. Feel like they had a good sense of humour, that you've got a good sense of humour, and they shared some kind of, I don't know, it's just a really nice sense of potential with you. Your healing with the Angels card is romance. Now, this is going to sound weird, but if you feel like dating other people, do. If you're going to get your mojo rising, and I don't mean get into anything serious because you probably can't, and I don't mean lead people on, but if you want to go for the odd cup of coffee, the odd cup of coffee. So would you like to go for a cup of coffee? Oh my God, losing the plot. If someone asks you out and they look half decent, get your mojo rising, get your confidence up, fill your own cup, okay? It can only have positive effects on this. We also got the children card. So for some of you, some of this has something to do with children, maybe a blended family. It may be that they have responsibility for a child or you do, okay? Either way, we're talking follow the rocket, okay? The Ace of Wands. Follow the luck. Believe you are lucky. It's really important. I'm going to go and do your extended reading now. We're going to look at the Fool, we're going to look at reconciliation, we're going to look at romance, the Ace of Wands, and whatever else. Maybe have a look at that 9 of Swords shadow side. Do subscribe to the channel and do share the video, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.